Hi, I'm Casey Kerr and welcome to the Oklahoma Bankers Association. One Beacon Professional Insurance, a carrier the OBA Insurance Agency represents, conducted an analysis in 2010, which found slips, trips, and falls were the #1 cause of both liability and workers' compensation claims for financial institutions in the United States. For the OBA Insurance Agency, it isn't just about providing you coverage from these claims, but providing you the information to prevent these claims. We sat down with agency's Judy Hanna, who has some great advice to avoid these potential hazards.
Well, Casey, thanks for bringing this up because it is an interest for all of our banks. They have as many issues with risk inside the bank as outside the bank. So we'll start with outside the bank to start off with. One of the things to always notice is any type of holes or damage to any parking lots or sidewalks. Also, the lighting at night is very important. If you are a bank that has hours that are into the evening, both for your employees and your customers, you need to make sure the lighting is good at all areas for both criminal activity and just to keep them safe. Also, make sure that all the ramps, the stairs, the rails are all in good condition and up to ordinance or codes of your area or city. Also, we had one situation where a bank had a painter paint their handicap ramps with yellow paint, and the paint he used evidently had latex or plastic, which ended up making it like a slip and slide. And so, you know, when you're using someone to do that type of work in a parking lot, make sure they know what they're doing and they have the appropriate paint to use. The major focus that we see or risk area inside are mats inside the bank. And what will happen is the mat will flip over, the floor mat will flip as somebody comes in, and I've tripped over those myself when I've gone into places. So mats are a great idea, especially with tile, which most bank entryways are tile. But make sure they're in good condition, they're not raveled, they have plastic backing, which all of them basically do. Now, in the event that there's rain or snow, you absolutely have to make sure that those, if they're very, very wet, that they're either replaced with dry ones, because if it's really snow and icy, all they're doing is tracking in more moisture once they get too dirty or wet. So watch them during those period of times, potentially put out more mats if there's snow or rain or ice, because that tile becomes extremely slick when it becomes wet. Also, if there is an accident, it's very important to make notes about who witnessed the accident, what employees witnessed the accident, was there anyone who witnessed the accident, because what can happen is you may not hear anything about a slip and fall for 6 months. And then you get an attorney's letter that says this happened, and if notes aren't made routinely when something like this happens as to what occurred and who witnessed it, you're certainly not going to remember that later who was on duty. It's also important to put specific people in charge of, especially the lobby, so there is some ownership to who is responsible to make sure that area is clean. And I would say 90% of slip and falls inside the building would be taken care of with that type of plan. There is going to be situations, especially with elderly people, where they fall. There's no fault of the bank. It's just the nature. I'm getting older, so I know how that is. But you do need to always pay real close attention to someone like that. Let them show that you care that they fell, and a lot of times that alone will help on any future claims that might be made.
Thanks for the helpful advice, Judy, on preventing these hazards and lowering the chance of claims. Although we can't control every potential hazard, we can reduce their risk. Let Judy and Rhonda know if you have any concerns or need ideas. They are always ready to help. I'm Casey Kerr with the Oklahoma Bankers Association, where we make bankers better.